Okay, so the main purpose of this initial screening, okay, is the concept of go or no go, okay, whether we're going to go ahead with it or not. So, depending on the motivation of the different organizations, some of it may be very, very high in capital cost. You may need a lot of money, but then in the end, their benefit is their motivation. So this is what we need to understand. So there are many types of screening models. This part of the lecture will be concentrating on some screening models, okay, like how to screen projects, and well, the main purpose here is you need to look at the proposal, the scope statement, whether it's economically feasible, financially viable, and of course the motives, and then whether it fits the company's strategy and goals, and what kind of weaknesses and all that. So there are rubrics is definitely one very important, very common way of describing the model. Okay, and you can have different criteria with different marks, with different rubrics to it, and then each of them has different weightage, and then you mark your, you sort of grade your proposal in that sense, whether it meets that score of going ahead with it or not, or maybe you have a range of score that is like 0 to something is actually KIV, and then wait for another year or so, and then one is confirm going ahead, and one of them is just basically no, you see. So this sort of screening, like I said, is all based on cost and benefit, but that cost and benefit is depending on the criteria that you are describing the project with. You see, these are some examples of the criteria that we have. Okay, so then you also need to think about the main purpose is which the organization or the stakeholders behind it. Some people may be looking for options that are very flexible. Some people are looking for options that are very easy to use, maintenance. It's just like you buying a car. Some people want it to be highly durable. They need very, very little maintenance. Some people go for very aesthetic. Some people go for speed. So what is your stakeholders? When you do your criteria, it basically has to base on your stakeholders' requirement. Okay. In the stakeholders, like I said, if you are JKR, if you are a government agency, if you are a private organization, or you are like manufacturing company, or you are NGOs, they are very different. Okay. My purpose here, my emphasis here is the difference between all these organizations, and therefore the criteria for your evaluation will be different. Okay. So you can have non-numeric model and some that is numeric. Okay. So again, on the non-numeric one, you can talk about, things like this is sacred cow, meaning that it's actually a very the highlighted project for your company, and then or is something that is not done before, and therefore you want to be at the lead at the market. So that could be the motivation, that could be the objectives, that could be the drive behind the project. And then of course there are some because of operating necessity, competition, to meet some competition, to be at the forefront, to have an edge, so you really need to take a risk. So the numeric models, of course, is what we've been talking about, that we like a lot. That would be payback period accounting, RRI, ROI, and then net present value, and then of course you can use weightage like the model that I've shown you just now. So all these are actually different types of selection model. Okay, so once you confirm on your selection model whether you are going to really go ahead with this option, with this particular idea or not. This is a measurement of the idea, whether we're going to go ahead with the scope, go ahead with the idea. Okay, so if the answer is yes, we're going to go ahead with it, then of course we as engineers, it's not going to be just it, okay, just go ahead with the project and you go and start designing. I think a lot of us would do that because that would save a lot of work. But I think it's fair enough at this stage we actually also embark onto option analysis. This is very, very common. So besides, yes, the project is going to go ahead now. So, but what are the other things, that can change? Do you have any other option? If you're in development project, so we're going to go ahead with this piece of development. but then there is many choices here. You can do commercial, you can do, even agricultural if you want, or you can do holiday tourism, you can do mix with agriculture, mix with residential with commercial, or fully residential. Even residential, there's many options as well. So then a lot of projects also have different options when it comes to how do you want the production line to be, do you want to outsource some of the production to other people, just getting some parts from certain people, and then you do the assembling. So there's many different options here as well. You see? And then, of course, there's options of routes like transmission power. You've got different routes. You've got water. You've got different routes. You've got different options with rural water as well. You've got a lot of different options here. You can use gravity. You can use just the river supply, whereby you don't need to do too much of treatment. You can do more bio kind of treatment instead of the typical chemical treatment. So you see, there's many different options here that we can embark on too. So I don't think any client would like us to say that, oh, you've got no option, you just have to go for this. Yes, that one is earlier on. So earlier on, now we still apply that to our options. So from here on, we will have maybe 2, 3, 4 different options, and then with this we do our cost benefit analysis. Okay, but cost benefit analysis are mainly monetary based. Okay, it is talking about value. It's about money. It's about money in, money out. So hopefully the money out will be able to cover the money in. It's as simple as that. Are you making money here? If you are not, that government agency, the motivation serving the public, then that is the ministry has different kind of objectives. So then we can go for what we call a cost effective analysis, whereby it's actually expressed in different units, such as health, such as fatality, such as work-life balance, such as social closeness, such as exercise, or such as air quality. So there is many different type of options. Physical units that, you can express the cost and benefit in different physical units. And those are what we call cost effectiveness analysis. So these two analysis, essentially one is with money, try to convert everything into dollars and cents, and that would be the easiest way to think about it. Okay. And then of course, the cost effective analysis is on the non-monetary value, non-dollars and cents. There's a lot of things that we cannot really convert that to dollars and cents, and therefore we need to study that as well. So of course, then the other one is a financial evaluation component. So this one here, we will cover all these techniques. You have engineering economics as a technique. So you can, Dr. Lee will go through with you a lot more in detail on the economics calculation that usually we will use, but it's more on cost benefit in terms of dollars and cents. That is more common using economic analysis. But again, if the physical, the one, the CEA normally will express that in terms of other numbers, then, we try to explain it using a more qualitative explanation and report format to actually do it. Okay, so that is cost, the analysis that we do for our option studies. Okay, so we sometimes call it feasibility studies, but honestly, I wouldn't want to generically call it feasibility studies. But here we are just talking about the benefit, the cost, and the value of the project, and essentially, the outcome here would be which option would you be selecting, you see? How much are you willing to pay for the benefit that it will bring? So different options will have different level of benefit, different level of cost. Some can be a bit more long-term. That's when we talk about value. You may have something that's cheaper now, but in the end, you can use it longer. So, what is the motivation behind the organization that will determine whether your project has value or not?